Roar! Roar! My husband loves me so much, he just bought me a brand new Mercedes. Well, my husband doesn't have much money and he can't buy me expensive things, but he's got a pecker that's so big that 12 canaries can perch on it at the same time. Well, I have to admit I exaggerated. My husband didn't buy me a new Mercedes. It's a Taurus. Well, I'll confess I exaggerated too, that 12th canary has to stand on one foot. Sheesh! My wife drugged me to her high school reunion the other day. 10 years since she graduated from high school. We were all sitting at these long tables, and there on the far end of the table we were sitting at was this incredibly drunk man that he was so drunk he had passed out and slumped over the table. I asked her, I said, "Do you know that guy?" She said, "Yes, as a matter of fact, that's my ex-boyfriend. He started drinking the day I broke up with him, and he hasn't been sober since." Wow, I said, I didn't know it was possible to celebrate that long. You know that I have superpowers. But what you don't know is that I applied for the X-Men. And I went to the X-Men house and was greeted by Professor X himself. And he asked me, "Girl, what are your superpowers?" I said, I can accurately guess how many times you will have to pull that cord to turn off that ceiling fan. I said, you would have to pull that cord 3 times to turn off that ceiling fan. Professor X stood up and he pulled that ceiling fan 3 times, and sure enough, that ceiling fan quit running. Professor X looked at me and he said, "Girl," I said, "I hate to tell you this, but," I said, "guessing how many pulls to turn off a ceiling fan," I said, "that's not much of a superpower." I said, "Well, that's not really my only power. Also, I have the superpower I can make paraplegic people stand and walk." Realizing he's standing under the ceiling fan, Professor X says, "Oh my God." Satan is up in heaven arguing with God when he gets a message that he has new souls that they are receiving in hell. So he leaves and gets in the elevator and takes the elevator down, down, down into hell. He tells the new arrivals, "Welcome to hell. Your souls are damned for eternity. You've wasted your entire pitiful life, and here you are." One of the new arrivals says, "Well, our lives may be pitiful, but at least I'm not an adult living in my father's basement." I went to a high school reunion a little while back, and I came across 4 of my friends, and the 5 of us sat there visiting. One of my friends got up to get us some refreshment. After she left, friend number 1 said, "You know, my son, I'm so proud of my son. He got involved in construction and he became a construction foreman, and now he's the owner of a construction company, and he built himself a mansion." Wow, that's great, said friend number 2. My son, I'm proud of him too. He got into cars and selling cars in car dealerships, and now he owns a BMW dealership, and he has several BMW lots up and down the East Coast. Friend number 3 said, well, that's great. Said, I'm proud of my son too. He is the CEO of an airline company. He provides the small jets that fly from the small airports into the major airports and shuttle people from the small airports to the larger international airports. He controls a big fleet of small jets. Well, about that time, my 4th friend returned with the refreshments, and she said, what are y'all talking about? Another said, oh, we're telling everybody about our sons and their accomplishments. And they said, oh, well, I've got a son too, and my son is a homosexual male stripper. Oh, said the other, that's terrible news. We're so sorry for you. Oh, sorry, nothing. He does actually pretty well. Why, just the other day, he's got several boyfriends. One of his boyfriends gave him a mansion, another boyfriend gave him a BMW, and another boyfriend gave him a jet. That's all, folks.